Yes, yes. Oh, ciao ragazzi. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, buonasera. I have the hosting rights and I have the bragging rights as well, because for the first time in 10 years, my team's back in the knockout round, but I'll get to that when I get to that. Jono, thanks for joining me on Football Worldwide. It's lovely to have you. It's lovely to be back to discuss Europe's premier football competition, my friend.
Absolutely love this show, love this channel, guys. Welcome back to Football Worldwide. As Anthony introduced, this is the Champions League show as scheduled, as we always like to do after the second match day. So, mate, there's been some entertaining games, that's for sure, and some cracker results.
Absolutely cracker results, man. Absolutely amazing fixtures as well. Really getting to that tight end of the competition. Only one match day left, and we'll just start with Group A. We'll start with the big boys and the biggest fixture of the match day: Manchester City versus Paris Saint-Germain. With all the off-field incidents with PSG at the moment, and the fact that their manager could be out the door in the off season, it's a struggle to see how so many of these athletes and elite players are really struggling to gel in this side. But even today, despite getting the first goal, they couldn't carry it out. And questions are going to be asked now of Pochettino. It looks like he's on his way out. Manchester City continue to, pretty much fly under Guardiola. Every single player in their side, Jono, just knows exactly how to turn up. That crisp cross in, and I think it was Bernardo Silva's touch to equalize. And then Gabriel Jesus grabs the second one. 3 more points and an easy topping of Group A for City.
Yeah, it was Sterling, that first one, but no, it was just unreal in regards to how that team plays and Guardiola's style. You can always see it in all the teams that he's coached. The fact that they've got that little bit of tiki-taka from the Barcelona days, but they've just quality all over the park. Mahrez, Gundogan, all of them just absolutely unbelievable. So it was a very entertaining game. The other thing was to see two top-tier teams, but to see one side absolutely dominate from start to end, man, they were unlucky that Man City didn't score 4 or 5 goals, to be honest, in this one.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, man. Just having a look, it's pretty straightforward from here. Manchester City will go through to the next round as group winners, PSG as runners-up, and Leipzig and Bruges will have to, whoever can better the other side on the day. However, Leipzig with the head-to-head will have to head-to-head advantage. You'd fancy them to go through to the Europa League places. All sewn up, all done for Group A. Let's move on to Group B. Fantastic group. Can't wait to discuss this. Liverpool showing, making light work of a group of death, like proper light work. There's just something about Liverpool and this competition. It fits like an absolute glove, even if they're not at their best domestically. Another 2-0 comfortable win over Porto. And yeah, too good, Klopp's men. Yeah, Jono?
Yeah, 100%. Just, this team is, different, very different to Guardiola's team in a certain extent. Guardiola's team, 25 passes before it gets to goal. Whether as for Sharma, 100%, bro. It was in the post from the other day, so I got you, man. But as for, Klopp's team, man, they only need 1 or 2 passes straight from the back and get it to Mane or Salah at the front, and 2 touches and it's a goal.
Yeah, it's as easy as that, man. But a good fixture that I want to talk about was a great little story. Junior Messias, who scored the winning goal away from home for Milan today to take them to 4 competition points. He was working a full-time job 3 years ago in Italy to support himself and his loved ones. And here he is scoring a goal in the Champions League for AC Milan. It's the stuff that dreams are made of, and you could really tell how appreciative he was. And Milan, not down and out yet in a group where Liverpool has dominated. Milan now need to beat the 7-time champions when they face them in the next match day, and hope that, Porto don't get the job done against Atletico. Even though the game is in Portugal, you'd probably fancy Porto to win it. But I'm not too sure, man. I'm not ready to count out Milan yet. And I really think that the history that they have in the competition, they might be able to take it to a Liverpool side who I am sure is going to rest at least 7 or 8 players, John.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Liverpool's got nothing to play for. They've topped that group. But, man, what a surprise. Not a surprise result in all seriousness with Milan, because they've been performing well this season, especially in the Serie A. But in Champions League, they had definitely not been performing as good as what they could be. They had a bit go their way in today, and they got that goal that they needed, and they got the 3 points. So, you know what? If they don't progress to the next stage, you'd expect them at least to be in the Europa League as well, which may come back to bite them in the Serie A for the later stages.
100%, man. You know, as an Inter fan, I'd love nothing more than for Milan to finish third in that group, because it would definitely put a thorn in their domestic campaign. Atletico Madrid not performing up to par domestically either. They're fourth in La Liga, even though it's a pretty tight gap. But, you know, Simeone's starting to maybe look like he might want a career change in the future. I'm not too sure. I know he and Atletico are a very, very close fit, John. But I just feel like that they're just starting to lose a little bit of their flow this season, man. What do you think?
The thing that I took notice of, obviously, this was a pretty high prestige game for us to watch as well. But Simeone actually changed the formation today, and it was actually quite interesting with how he deployed the team. I thought it was pretty good, and it was well balanced. You know, De Paul was sitting just behind the strikers. He kind of had a 4-4-2, but almost had an inside diamond type thing. And it just looked, on paper, it looked like it was working well. And you know what? Like, they had some chances, and they held Milan at bay for quite a while. Milan were a bit unlucky to not score a couple of goals in this game as well. Zlatan had a couple of chances as well, offside and so forth. But it's interesting to see if Atletico actually bow out of the competition and don't stay in Europe altogether, how much they're going to be pushing on to maybe go 2 years in a row for La Liga.
That's a good point, man. That's something I would say there. If they were to get eliminated altogether from European football, their odds of actually winning La Liga would probably go up, in my opinion. So well said, John, as we move across to Group Chi, and a comeback by Ajax, who are the other team in the competition to have 15 out of 15 points. Fantastic effort from them. I think Bayern might be the third and final one, but I'll get to that eventually. I can't remember Chelsea off the top of my head. Besiktas, on the other hand, are the only side in the competition, I'm pretty sure, to have 0 competition points. So they're pretty much the flops of the competition. Unfortunately, you know, Pjanic and co not having a good tournament at all. Ajax win the game 2-1, top the group on 15 points. But I guess the biggest shock, Jono, in this group is Borussia Dortmund dropping more points, and they could be looking at an exit as well. Another team that really prides themselves on getting to the next round of the competition, but it's looking shaky for Borussia Dortmund, man. Very shaky.
Yeah, they've got a bit of work to do. I'm pretty sure their next game I think they're going to be versing Besiktas. So you'd expect them to win that one. But man, you're going to hope that, you know what? They're out. They're actually out because they don't have the head-to-head against Sporting as well. So they're done. If they're going to go to Europa League next season, or looks like they're pretty much done for Europa League, they just miss Haaland that much. You know, it just shows that with him out of the side, the continuity between the rest of the team, they're not as balanced as what they need to be, especially in the midfield. Their defense is absolutely horrendous. The goals that they leak week in and week out, especially in the Bundesliga, it just goes to show, man, they've got some massive problems. They can score when they need to, even without Haaland. Ruse has stepped up and found a bit of form this season in somewhat, but man, Hummel's at the back and all that. He's not a defender anymore, and he's way past his best. They need to sort out that back line.
They've got Bayern next in the Bundesliga, which should be very, very fun for them, man. So
top of the table dash, that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one. So obviously in the Europa League, and Ajax and Sporting going through, getting some Portuguese representation in there. Hey, look what we've got here, Group D. Let's have a little bit of chat about the champions of Italy returning to the round of 16. It's a great feeling. Inter win 2-0 against Shakhtar Donetsk, home at the Miazza after controlling the whole game. Edin Dzeko absolutely could not finish his lunch on an empty stomach today. But then in the second half, came up the way a professional striker would. 2 goals for Dzeko, 2 goals and 3 points for Inter. And you know what? For all the criticism and for all the bad talk about us in this competition, Simone Inzaghi has the gang qualified with 1 game to spare. Jono, it's a good feeling, yeah?
100%, man. We haven't been past the round of 16 in, what's it been, Ev? 10 years?
10 years, bro. It's a whole decade.
Yeah, there you go. So it just shows, even having Conte there last year, Inzaghi's done something that Conte couldn't do, and all the previous managers that were there before him. So look, credit to Inter. They absolutely killed this game. Perisic and Damian on each wing. Absolutely phenomenal. Perisic is, in all seriousness, to me, I think this is actually the best form I've ever seen him play in an Inter shirt. I was a massive fan when he was at Wolfsburg as well. So credit to him. I would love to see him stay, but I can understand if he would want to go to greener pastures and trying to get that big paycheck and move into the Premier League like he's always kind of pushed for.
At 33 years old and the form he's in, he's one of those players that has the luxury of now saying, I would, as a free agent, I'd walk into any club. Players from clubs from Germany, Spain, England, and he's done his hard work. He doesn't owe Inter anything else. It'd be great if he extended another year after this, but I do see him moving and chasing that last contract, as he's rightfully so to do. Bruno jumps in and says, Inter have been getting the job done. Real is only starting the fire up. Real Madrid, they had to win that game because a team like Real Madrid can't drop points to a team like Sheriff twice in the same Champions League group stage. It just doesn't happen. They needed a little bit of pride back, and that 3-0 result, fantastic. And now a great clash at the Bernabeu on match day 6 to decide the winner of this group. Will it be Madrid? Will it be Inter? I know a lot of Inter fans are just happy to go through, but when you look at the teams, Jono, that you can play on either side of the draw, I think the gulf is a little bit separated more this year. And I think we might have mentioned it on one of these Champions League shows that like there's a group of really good clubs that are just undeniably going to win it. It's going to be a Bayern, a City, or a Liverpool, in my opinion, maybe an outside Chelsea, PSG shout, but the gulf between those teams and the rest, it's just child's play, in my opinion, man. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. It really is a big difference between the top and the rest this year. And you can actually tell, as an Inter perspective, the only one I'd be kind of hoping for would be Manchester United, to be honest. So, But in saying that, it's a luck of the draw. But let's hope that Inter actually go all out, because Real Madrid are vulnerable by all means. They had a good game today. Alaba's free kick goal, man, like it took a little deflection and all that. Even Benzema and Toni Kroos with their goals, just phenomenal players, man. These guys are just all class. When they want to turn it on, they can, and it showed against Sheriff as well. So, look, in all seriousness, is it at in Milan, the next one?
No, the final game's at the Bernabeu in Madrid.
So that's going to be a tough ask for Inter to go and take the points over there. I think, in all seriousness, if we can probably hope for a draw, but I really hope that they go all out and try to get this the 3 points to put us in the top spot.
Absolutely. Thanks to the 4 people that have joined us live, and thanks to Diggs, who's joining us on Twitch. Thanks, guys. Go over there and subscribe to our Twitch. We really appreciate the support. Let's move down to the next group, second side of the grid. Bayern Munich, too easy, 15 points, 19 goals, only 3 conceded. Lewandowski with a bicycle kick in the snow? Is it, bro? Is that what it is, man? That's what it is. That's casually what it is. Barcelona with 2. I can't believe it, bro. It's 2 goals. It's 2 goals in 5 games. Sometimes I need to look at it properly to make sure I've got the right thing while I'm saying it. They've only scored 2 goals, John. I know you don't. I know you're not really a Barca fan, but you follow La Liga and Barca. What's the go, bro? This is shonky. If Inter were to finish first by all miraculous, feed me this Barcelona team over anybody else that finishes second.
Yeah, no, I am a bit of a Barca fan, though, to correct that part there. But look, man, under Koeman, they're an absolute shambles. They had Xavi come in for his first match on the weekend, and by all means, he's got this team. He's only had them for a week, so there's not that much he can actually do. Those 2 goals for in the Champions League, that just shows their demise of how bad they are. Dembele and Depay this morning tried their best. Dembele was actually good. It was good to see him on the field having a bit of a run. Looked like he's pretty much got over his current injuries and that. But I don't know, man. Like it's a bit of a big ask to see Barcelona do much more than what they have been. I don't know where they go from here, if they're going to progress or not. But you know what? It's not going to be easy for them. That's for sure.
Yeah, I just remember towards the end of the game tuning in and watching that last miss for Benfica that almost would have buried them out of the tournament. So
the coach came out and said in his 30 years of coaching, it was the worst thing he has ever seen. And man, to take it past ter Stegen and how it kind of nicked his head, and then it was literally an open goal, and to put it wide, my 3-year-old daughter could have put that in.
Not a good day at the office for Haris Severovic. Not a good day at the office for Xavi and Barcelona. I just want to give a little shout out to João Mario and Valentino Lazaro, who play for Benfica, but we'll stop at that. Benfica, on the other hand, though, have Dinamo Kiev at home in Portugal in the next round, while Barcelona have to travel to Munich. So the damage is not completely over yet, is it, mate?
Nah, definitely not. I think it is Barcelona got to go to Munich, like you just said, and we know what's happened the last times that they've had to face each other.
They're going to play their B side, Bayern Munich, and it's going to be a hungry bunch of kids that are willing to stamp their authority in the Champions League, and they'll run rings. They'll run absolute rings, man, because that's the professional organization that is Bayern Munich, right?
Yeah, 100%. Bayern Munich, their B side is probably as good to kind of win a lot of the domestic leagues across the other continents and countries. So, man, they're no pushovers, that's for sure. I know Bayern had a loss on the weekend to Wolfsburg, but that's just a blip in their radar. They were thinking about just doing what they do best.
Yep, well said, bro. Group F, Manchester United qualify for the next round as group winners as well, with one game to go. A little bit surprising considering their form and their crisis situation off the pitch. Similar to Barcelona, no more previous manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is sacked during the week, replaced by an interim within an interim. People are joking with Michael Carrick. Man, it's a shambles at that club, bro. So my question to you, Jono, is how far can they really go in this competition? Can they beat anyone on their day if Ronaldo has a good day, or is this just still not going to happen? But more importantly, the real precursor to that question would be, who's coming in to take the reins for the rest of the campaign?
Geez, can they beat anyone on their day?
No, definitely. I don't think so. I really don't.
But in saying that,
it's just that they've done it before, but while being crap so many weeks in a row.
Mate, you're a United fan, so you've probably got a better chance of answering this better than me. But I feel like now with Ole gone, there's that little bit of unpredictability that it wouldn't surprise me if Ronaldo puts a masterclass in and Varane's out for a few weeks or whatever. But if Maguire gets the sack out the back, they could actually probably do something. But the other thing, I want to give a special message to Van de Beek and Sancho, man. And the goal after the game, they were both in tears holding each other. They were just so happy for each other.
Yeah.
And it was just a joy to see, man. Sancho getting his first goal for United and Van de Beek playing a good game. Man, this kid, I don't know why he got such a bad rap from Ole and the rest of the coaching staff there. But look, what can United do next round? I think it all comes down to who they get, in all seriousness. Yeah. If they get, like I said before, if they get Inter, I think Inter can very comfortably take them out with ease. But if they get, who knows? If they get someone else and they got to go to someone, like if they got to do a bit of a hard trip or something, I don't see them doing too much.
Yeah, I would have to agree, man. I really think that they're in for this. They're in this competition for a good time, but not necessarily a long time.
A long time
this time around, man. The next group, which really in context is the real group of death, because it's been that jam-packed. I've actually really, really enjoyed it. I've moved on a little bit too fast. I just want to say that, unfortunately, I was gunning for Atalanta, as most Serie A fans were, and they choked on this one big time. They really should have got the points in this game. I was a little bit disappointed because I really want Atalanta to occupy that second spot in the group. It's just what needs to happen. But Gasperini is a little bit of a choke artist, man. Follow me on Inter Worldwide for more Serie A propaganda against Atalanta.
But hold on, man. 3-3, man. What about, even Muriel coming straight off the bench in the 85th minute and putting that. Muriel. Oh, my God. Muriel. But they were. This was an entertaining game. As a neutral, man, this was a cracker of a game. This just had everything other than defense. Zapata, man. Wow, man. He back towards goal and putting it in the bottom corner. He's a joy to watch when he's on as well.
He is. They deserved. I really wanted them to get the win. They deserved more. I thought with United stealing that game against Villarreal, I'm like, yes, now Atalanta will get those points and get the coefficient ranking right for Serie A. But yeah, we can only hope in the last game that they can get the job done and jump back up. 3 points for Sevilla on this particular match day, as they very much so stayed in the running. They needed the points against Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg needed the points against Sevilla. It was Sevilla that got the points in order to jump up the table. Really good game as well. Very, very interesting. Meanwhile, at the top of the group, it's still Lille that's just got the jump. It's going to be very close on the last game. I didn't expect Lille at home, who have been a little bit shaky in France this season, to get the win over RB Salzburg, but a goal from Jonathan David, who's a very, very in-form player at the moment, or so I am hearing from many, many people.
He is. He's on fire in League One, my second favorite Canadian, and after Davies.
Very, very nice.
Alphonse Davies. Oh, man, he's an absolute cracker. He's been killing it in League One. And look, Lille's actually starting to find a little bit of form. But look how close this group is. Like the three teams on one goal difference. You know what I mean?
Wolfsburg at home in the next game against Lille, whereas Sevilla have to travel to Salzburg. So really, you've got Salzburg and Wolfsburg might still be the favorites to qualify here because it's that close. I mean, if Wolfsburg get the 3 points, that's a tough one to work out.
This is literally a flip of a coin for anyone, because if Wolfsburg gets the points, they'll go into second on goal difference. If Lille,
if they can beat Lille in a better fashion than they played the reverse fixture, they might actually get the head-to-head to them on 8 points and top the group, mate. Yeah,
on the head-to-head point, you're right. So
the last game was 0-0. The last game was 0-0 in France. If Wolfsburg can get 3 points against Lille, they will jump from fourth and top the group, providing RB Salzburg don't win against Sevilla. So it could go either way. Whereas Salzburg at home to Sevilla, you'd fancy them to at least get a point. In that situation there, you've got three teams deadlocked on 8 points. And I don't even know if they have to. I don't know. Wow, this is going to be great. Watch Group G and watch this space.
100%. That's the best comment you could make about this group, man. That's
one of the there's one of those groups that just even during the game, it's just like switching as the game goes on.
Man.
So that's going to be fantastic.
100%.
It's been a fantastic show. Let's close it off. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot about this. What a great way to close this show off. Almost forgot. Chelsea 4, Juventus 0 in London. Losing to Chelsea wasn't going to be the worst thing in the world because, they're the champions of Europe. They're one of the most well-coached, informed teams. But if you are the other club in speaking, you don't lose 4-0. And they lost 4-0. They got pumped, playing defensive, really negative Italian catenaccio football. And Allegri is a little bit under the question at the moment, whether or not his tactics are just a little bit too negative and outdated. You can tell.
Let me ask you exactly that point, mate. You cover the Serie A week in, week out with your Serie A roundtable on this channel, beautiful channel we have here. Is it the fact that Allegri's tactics are now outdated? He was out of coaching for 2 years, and it looks like he hasn't evolved in those 2 years. He's kind of gone back to that old style of negative type football. Let's get a quick goal, then park the bus and maybe get on the counter. And he's got Chiesa there who can do it and all that. Morata hasn't been good this season for them as well. What's going on with Juventus?
Bro, it's not only are the tactics negative, they work in Serie A where you can get that goal, especially against the sides in Serie A that come to Juventus. But on the flip side, Juventus don't have the creativity that they once do. So they struggle to break down a low block in Serie A against smaller teams. I can't remember the last time they actually put 3 or 4 in the back of the net. Now that I'm thinking about it, this is not an attacking side, and they've sold Cristiano Ronaldo, who, he might not be the player he was 10 years ago, but he still banged 31 goals last season, didn't he, for them? You need to replace those goals properly. They didn't do that. It's also, important to know these players, Morata, Ken, Chiesa, even Locatelli, they're not even fully owned by the club just yet. The club owes about 90 million euros to redeem these 4 players. So they're going to have to prioritize in the offseason which of these 4 that they decide to renew, because they can't afford 90 million euros of renewals.
And what I saw this afternoon before we just came on, Abramovich has just given Tuchel $80 million to go for Chiesa in January or the end of next season.
Chiesa, in my opinion, could be the player that they sacrifice in order to sell, which would be hilarious considering the shade they threw on Inter fans for selling Lukaku. But, you know, double standards don't exist in Turin. Follow me on Inter Worldwide for more Juve propaganda as well. Honestly, they did a great job by qualifying, I think, first out of any other side in Europe. I think they put their foot into the next round before anybody. But at the end of the day, they are going to go into the next round against a much tougher side than they did before. But that might even work in their favor because it's time for them to start leveling up again. They got dumped out of this competition 3 years in a row by Lyon, Ajax, and Porto.
100%. And that was the first time Juventus has had 4 goals conceded to them in 20 years. So
yeah, I think Roma was the last team to do it, 4-0 in 01-02 Serie A.
That's right. So it just goes to show. It just shows as well, like Chiellini and I think who was it? Was De Ligt the other? I don't think it was Chiellini and De Ligt.
Bonucci and De Ligt were playing this game.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. And man, they just looked in all sorts. So I think age is starting to show. De Ligt's a great player, but I don't think he's been getting enough of a chance in the Serie A.
I don't think he was ready to come to Ajax and basically spearhead the defense the way that he needs to, because when he was playing for Ajax in that team, they were such progressive, free-flowing ball movement. The guy was basically playing as a CDM anchor. I swear to God, De Ligt was playing like what Brozovic plays for Inter. That's what he was doing for Ajax. He was picking the ball up deep, bringing it forward almost to the halfway line. That was his Ajax style of play. And then you tell him to go and spend how much time in the centre-back position at Juventus. Remember in his first season how mistake-prone he was, man. He was scoring own goals and making handballs all over the place. It's not necessarily his fault. Players come to Italy, and on the defensive end, it is just such a struggle to adapt, man. But
100%.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. What a great match day. It's going to feel really good to watch the next match day knowing that Inter are in the next round. But yeah, John, it was an absolute pleasure to be joined by you on Football Worldwide to discuss the Champions League. And make sure everybody who's watching is liking and subscribing to all of our platforms. Let us know in the comments. Give us all sorts of feedback so we can use this to make a more enjoyable experience for you. John, any final words?
Yeah, guys, just make sure to like and subscribe, as Anthony's just mentioned. Be sure to, I'm going to do Bruno's task that he normally does with us, but be sure to catch Mo's Everything EPL on this channel, as well as Amp's Serie A Roundtable, where he goes through everything of the Serie A. European Weekly catch up with myself and Bruno. We missed this week because we had a bit of problems, but we will be back next week. Champions League, as we have done tonight, and the occasional conversation starter with Tim and Owen. Thanks, guys. Love it. And yeah, always a pleasure. Thank you, Anne, for taking this one tonight.
Anytime. Ciao.
Ciao.